Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dale of the Biblical Linguist, and in today's video, exciting new updates. I have a new video format, I have a fancy microphone, and I'm trying a new layout this time. In today's video, my buddy Stephen Nelson at the Cross Bible, in his diligence and hard work, added some brand new modern Greek versions of the Bible to his website, the Cross Bible. And I find this quite amazing. He actually added the Spiros Philos, the Vamvas, and today's Greek version with Deuterocanonicals. The Vamvas, when I click on the Vamvas, it actually looks almost, you can see this here, it looks pretty much identical to the Koine Greek. I was going through it. I don't see many changes. Maybe down here. Yeah, Makari I penthundes otiafti paraklithisonde, and then Makari I penthundes dioti afti thelusi pariorgithe. So that's different, but for the most part, it's word by word. So I'm not going to go with the Vamvas. I actually prefer the Spiros Philos, which apparently there were major riots over this back in the day when he wanted to write this and release this, and there was one camp saying no, absolutely not, we're going to retain the original Greek, and then Spiros Philos was saying nope. He said nope, I'm bringing it to modern times. And so here we are 100 years later approximately, reading the Spiros Philos, making a lot of people very angry at us. Anyways, today we're starting with Matthew chapter 5, and I'm hoping this streamlines my production a lot better, a lot more cleanly. Allows me to crank out more videos because there's a lot of stuff to get through, being that this is, I don't know, the Bible and everything. What I'll do is I'll read the Koine here. I'm using the SBL Greek New Testament, and then I'll read off the modern Greek from Spiros Philos. I'll focus on any words that sort of jump out at me and that I find interesting. All right, so here we go. Idun de tus ochlus anevi isto oros que kathizandos aftu prosilthan afto imatite aftu. So looking at the crowds, anevi, he went up isto oros, to the mountains, que kathizandos aftu, and he sat down, prosilthan afto, came to him, imatite aftu, his disciples. Kathizandos here, in modern Greek we say kathome, I'm sitting. U kathete, where are you sitting? So we still have the same word today, it's just changed its form a little bit. Alright, and now for the modern version. Otan omos ida taplithi anevike stovuno ke kathos kathise irthan koda tu I matites tu. This one feels a lot more natural to me. Otan is when, omus ida taplithi, when he saw the crowds, anevike, so this is the modern rendering of anevi, so we can see that they're quite similar. Stovuno, now this is the word that I learned in modern Greek for mountain, vuno, ke kathos kathise, and he sat down, and after he sat down, irthan kodatu imatitestu, came near to him, his disciples. Koda, koda imakria, close or far away. Koda imakria. Okay, verse 2. Ke anixas to stoma aftu edidasken aftus legon. Ke anixas. So in modern Greek, this word anigo means to open something. Anigo. Anigo tin porta. I open the door. To stoma, his mouth. Aftu edidasken, teaching. Aftus legon, teaching them, saying. So yeah, edidasken. So in modern Greek we have daskalos, which is a teacher. Daskala, a woman teacher. Alright, so let's take a look at the modern Greek. Hasn't changed a whole lot. Pretty dang close, as you can see. Ke anigontas to stomatu tus didaske legontas. What's interesting to me here is in the old Greek they'd say to stoma aftu. But in modern Greek, this af dropped off, and now it's just tastoma tu. Tu means his. And what I like about tu is it doesn't really change forms. Yata tu, his cat. Yineka tu, his wife. To aftokinito tu, his car. And what's interesting here is que anigontas to stoma tu opening his mouth, tous didaske, he taught them, saying, legontas. So what's interesting is the English translation leaves out part where he opened his mouth, but in both Greek translations it has that rendering. He opened his mouth. I talked about in a previous video how stoma is where we get our word stomach from, because stoma is, in a Greek mind, the beginning of the digestive tract. The stomachi is the actual stomach, but in the Greek mind they're connected, mouth and stomach, obviously. Verse 3, makari. Now I really like this word makari, and I wanted to talk about this one, focus on it. Here it means blessed, and what's cool about this is I'm going to talk a little bit about the etymology here. So I have studied Italian, I speak Italian. I wouldn't put myself at a super advanced level, but I have friends in Italy and I read their Facebook posts and I comment back, and I could have conversations with them, all day long conversations. I hang out with them all day, in fact, and, we get along pretty well. There's an Italian word, magari, and this comes directly from the Byzantines. So the Italian magari comes from Byzantine medieval Greek makari, which ultimately comes from makarios, which means blessed or happy. In medieval Greek, makari meant if only or I wish. It literally means I wish. And then the Italians heard them using this all the time. Makari, makari, makari. Finally, the Italians adopted it officially into their language. Makari na erti, if only he would come. So the word passed into southern Italian dialects, especially Sicilian and Neapolitan, through centuries of close contact with the Byzantine Greeks in southern Italy. In those dialects, makari was borrowed as to mean something like if only, I wish, and hopefully. The Greek K between vowels often becomes a softer G sound in Romance adaptation. Makari morphed into magari. The meaning shifted slightly in Italian, obviously. In Italian it means I wish or if only. It means hopefully, let's hope so, maybe, and even yes, why not. Magari vincessi, if only I won. Magari, I wish, or that would be great. Vieni domani, magari. Are you coming tomorrow? Maybe. I'd love to, but I'm not sure. So that's just kind of a side note. When I was first studying Italian, that word jumped out at me. I always thought it was weird. Magari. Like, what's this mean? Doesn't feel Italian because it's not Italian at all. It is Greek. Makari. Now, technically, when I pronounce this, there's supposed to be two I's here because of the iota, omicron iota here. So it's supposed to be makari, not with a glottal stop, but it's supposed to be just a drawn out makari. But I can't do that. I don't think I'll ever do that adequately, so I'm just going to say makari, and hopefully I don't get too much hate for that. I'm a gringo. I'm working within the confines of the American pronunciation system. Makari iptohi tu pneumati oti afton estin I Vasilia ton oranon. So blessed iptohi. So we're going to see in the next one how ptohi becomes ptohi in modern Greek. Ptohos means poor. So it has changed from a ptohi to ptohi. I actually like the modern way better. Ptohi is kind of harder for me to render, and the Greeks just love this. They just love mashing really awkward consonants up against each other and just expecting you to be able to pronounce it. It's pretty hilarious. So blessed are the poor in spirit. Now this is one that's hard to exegete for me. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to interpret from this phrase. To be poor in spirit is kind of, to me, a little challenging because, like, you could be poor in this life without a lot of money, but to be poor in spirit, literally like impoverished of spirit, does that mean like sort of divine suffering in a way? That's how I would interpret that. But let me know down in the comments what you think about this. The modern Greek is makari iptohi sto pneuma epidi dikitus ine I Vasilia ton oranon. Blessed are the poor of spirit, because the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. It is their own. Diki. And yes, I like this. Oskilos ine dikosmu. The dog is my own. This dikos, diki, mu, tu, su construction. It expresses ownership. In modern Greek, they did not have that back then. So yeah, I would just mostly interpret this as, those who live in humility, and those who live humbly but with a clean spirit in a repentant fashion, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. One does not buy his way into heaven with riches and luxury and loftiness. One needs to be humble before the Lord to enter heaven. And so, yeah, we're going to be seeing this Makari pop up a lot. I'm going to keep going to the end of when the last Makari is mentioned. There are 48 passages here. So I'm just going to go to 11. 11's a good holy number. I like 11. Makari I penthundes oti afti paraklithizonde. Blessed are those who are mourning. Penthundes oti afti paraklithizonde, for they shall be comforted. Paraklithizonde. Now let's compare that to the modern Greek. Makari aftipu penthun. Penthun. Blessed are they who mourn. Epidi afti tha parihorithun. So they shall be comforted. Okay, we're starting to understand verse 3 a little bit more. In other words, if you feel deeply and honestly about what's going on around you, and not lie and not try to divert around things and avoid things, if you're actually mourning something truly, you will be comforted. Makari I rais oti afti klironomisusi tingin. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. And then in the modern Greek, Makari I prai epidi afti tha klironomisun tiyi. Couple of interesting things here. The words haven't changed, only their forms. Meek here in Old Greek, rais versus prai in modern Greek. It's the same word. The word for because has changed. Oti in Old Greek versus epidi in modern Greek. And in the modern Greek, we have this tha here, which is the future indicator. Whereas in Old Greek, they would conjugate the verb into a future tense. And we have that with modern languages. Like in English, we say, I will go. We conjugate go in the present tense. We just add will to it, which basically means I want to go. I will, in Old English, will meant to want. In modern Greek, this tha here comes from thelo, to want. It actually comes from ithela, I would like. Tha ithela na pao. I would like to go. So in this case, aftitha klironomisun, they will inherit ye. And as we can see, n dropped off from Old Greek, tinhin. This is going to be the Greeks no longer have this. It's going to be the dative, and the Greeks no longer have this. They now just dropped it off, and they made it a little simpler, thankfully. Ti. All right, number 6. Makari I pinundes ke dipsondes tin dikeosinni oti afti hortastizonde. Blessed I pinundes. Now this is interesting because this verb is the same in modern Greek. Pinun, as we're going to see in the modern, have a verb, pino. Basically, I'm hungry. It's a verb of hungering. Okay, dipsondes in modern Greek, dipsun means to be thirsty. So let me read the modern in its full. Makari aftipu pinun ke dipsun di dikeosinni epidi aftitha hortason. Fascinating to compare these side by side. Pinun, dipsun, blessed are those who hunger and those who thirst for dikeosinni, righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Hortason. And it's fascinating here comparing these two tenses. So, hortas pisonde versus tha hortason. I like the modern stuff because I mostly study the modern stuff and it just makes more sense to me. But what we're seeing here is their future case. And they have this in Spanish and Italian as well. They don't say I will do something. They conjugate it in a certain way. So like, for example, io scrivo, I write. Io scriverò, I will write. You write. Tu scrivi. Tu scriverai. You will write. It's the same in Spanish, basically. Él escribe, él escribirá. Yo escribo, yo escribiré. They do the infinitive and they add a little extra at the end, which is what they've done here in the Greek, it looks like. Maybe not exactly, but it's similar. They just add an additional ending. Onde here is the future they form of it. See the N here. That's the indicator. On, un, that's the indicator of they. All right, number 7. Makari I eleimones oti afti eleithesonde. I go to a Greek Orthodox church on occasion, and they have this phrase. It's beautiful. Eleison imas, which means have mercy on us. And so this is that verb here. Blessed are the merciful. Eleimones, eleison imas. It's the same word for mercy. Oti afti elenthisonde. They will be mercified. They will be shown mercy. The modern Greek, makari aftipu eleun epidi aftitha eleithon. So pretty close. Fascinating comparing the differences here. In the Old Greek, you could see they didn't capitalize this. And at the time when this was originally written, it was written in majuscule, all capital letters. They reduced it to minuscule to be a little bit easier, I guess. But here we see they actually just capitalize their sentences now. Makari I kathari ti kardia oti aftiton theon opsonde. Interesting. Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. Opsonde. I didn't recognize that opsonde as for to see. I guess it does make sense. Ophthalmos. And then in the modern Greek, makari I kathari stin kardia epidi afti thadun ton theo. Yeah, opsonde has now become thun, which we do see in the Old Greek either, which is where the modern Greeks get their thun from. It's the same root. Thelo na tho, I want to see. They teach vlepo as an irregular verb, and then like the past tense always ends up using this either form, but it's not irregular. It's just two different verbs for seeing something. Vlepo and, well, they don't conjugate this in the modern form. All right, 3 more. Makari I irinopii oti afti I theu lithisonde. Blessed are the peaceful ones, or in this case, the peacemakers. Irini is peace. They shall be called sons of God. Klithisonde. In modern Greek, makari I irinopii. Same word. Epidi afti tha onomastun I tu theu. Makari I thediogmeni eneken dikeosinis oti aftun estin I Vasilia ton oranon. Blessed are those who are persecuted. Thediogmeni eneken dikeosinis. Persecuted for their righteousness. Oti afton estin I Vasilia ton oranon. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And in modern Greek, makari aftipu echon diochthi exetias tis dikeosinis epidi dikitus ine I Vasilia ton oranon echon diochthi exetias. Okay, so this one kind of confused me a little bit. All right, so diochthi comes from dioko, which means to persecute, chase, pursue, prosecute. And exetias means because, due to, on account of. It's a little bit more fancy of a word than epidi. Yeah, I've seen it before. Exetias. Okay, tis dikeosinis. So that word hasn't changed. For the righteousness, because theirs, dikitus, theirs, dikosmu, mine, is the kingdom of heaven. All right, and last but not least. I bet you're so sick of this word by now. Magari este otan onidisusin imas ke dioxusin ke iposin pan poniron kathimon psevdomeni eneken emu. So let's compare that to the modern. Makari iste, you are all blessed. Otan sas onidisun ke sas thesun ipo diogmo ke pun enadion sas kathe kako logo legontas psemata exetiasmu. So I understood this a little better. So onidiso means to insult. Sas thesun ipo diogmo means they basically subject you to persecution. Diogmo, thesun, means to place, to put. I'm familiar with the word vaso for this. And then diogmo. Diogmo is the modern Greek word for persecution, repression, from dioko, which we saw earlier. So here's some examples. Ipopieisi, under pressure. Ipokratisi, under arrest. And diogmo, under persecution. That's interesting. So in the past, they just used to say dioxosin. They use the verb for persecute, but in the modern times, they say placed into persecution, basically. So again, not a lot has changed. Kepun enadion saskate kakologo. So this one kind of confused me a little bit too. I understand this, pun saskate kakologo, but this, basically they say to you every bad word, but I never saw an adion before, so let's flesh this out. Pun, they say, an adion sas, against, an adion. Okay, this means against. All right, kate kakologo, every bad word, all kinds of bad things. Legontas psemata. So a psema is a lie, and psemata is, I like the neuter words because he just added ta to the end of that. So psemata are lies. Exetias mu. Here's this exetias again, on account of me. So now would I translate this? You plural are blessed. Onidisun comes from onidizo, to reproach, to insult, to shame, to taunt. Okay, onidizo. So you are blessed when they insult you, they shame you, and when they persecute you, and when they say all kinds of bad things to you, saying lies because of me. In the English official translation, blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and say all kinds of evil things about you falsely on account of me. So yeah, that last one was tough. So it's a good one to shut down on. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the new format. I plan to do this moving forward. And good news, I'm going to start not just doing these. I'm going to maybe start diving into other ancient Greek texts just to keep things fresh. But I do plan to get through the entire New Testament eventually. This will be the meat of the channel, but I do want to have some legumes, some grains as well, some artosimon opiusion, our ever-sustaining bread. One does not live on meat alone. Well, I have a few friends that do that, but I am not that kind of a guy. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think of the video today, and without further ado, I'm going to shut it down. I will see y'all in my next video.